Greetings, people of the internet. I'm back yet with another video. And now we are getting to the final episodes of the first season of Retrospective. Now, next year, and this is a major plan of mine, that I plan on making all of my videos 10 times better. I recently got a new capture card, and PC is going to be one of my main priorities to be getting, and the editing quality is probably going to be 10 times better. But until then, you're just going to have to enjoy episode 8 of Retrospective. And now, so my original plan was to review Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas was one of the many games that I wanted to do a video on for a very long time. And I have quite a bit of Bethesda content. I have Fallout New Vegas, I have The Elder Scrolls Morrowind, I even have Fallout 3 and Oblivion. Now, of all of the Bethesda games that I own, originally I wasn't going to do a video on this because I just didn't really see myself doing a review on one of the best Bethesda games of all time. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Now, Skyrim was released in 2011 for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. There's too many versions of this game. It's like Resident Evil 4 and Doom. There's just too many versions of this game. And so, my plan originally was to do a review on all of these games. But on my last channel, I already did all that. In fact, last channel, did a review on these. Did a review on this, and even did a review on this. But Skyrim is the only game in my entire collection that I have never reviewed. It's one of the only games. That was a lie. One of the only games. And this is by far my favorite game in the whole franchise because it is probably the best one to play if you're getting into the series now. And the main thing that I love about this is how much content there is. It took me roughly 3 or so months to beat the main storyline because of how long it takes. And that's just getting all the base achievements. Because there are achievements for the Thieves Guild, the Dark Brotherhood. There's so much stuff that you can do in this game that you can't do in any of the other games. Probably the closest to how much content is in the game that is an Elder Scrolls game is probably Oblivion. Because, again, a lot of factions you can really do. And Morrowind isn't exactly as large of a game as Elder Scrolls or Oblivion or Skyrim because there's not as big of an open world that you can explore. Once we got into the next generation of consoles at the time, those consoles being the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, we were able to get much bigger games. That is why GTA 5, probably one of the biggest open world games on the planet, is on those consoles because it was able to process the whole world. And so, when we got Skyrim is a big game. Alright? There is a lot to do in Skyrim, and if you play on something like PC, you're going to take up quite a bit of space, depending on the version. Oh yeah, there's versions of this game. The main version is there's the standard version, there's the Legendary Edition that was only for PlayStation 3 and Xbox, and we also got the Special Edition, there's the Anniversary Edition, so on and so forth, all that crap. But another cool aspect of this game is the music. This is by far my favorite Elder Scrolls game to have the best soundtrack. And now, I might be making up a bunch of random crap. might not sound right because this isn't a scripted video. This is coming straight from my mind. First take, bunch of other crap. So I didn't exactly have time to put my own words into the soundtrack because if you listen to the main theme of the Elder Scrolls 3, 4, and 5, which were all composed by the same guy, they're all pretty similar. Well, mainly Elder Scrolls, Morrowind, and Skyrim. Anyway, aside from the soundtrack, this is just such a good game that I can't really put my own words into this game because of how much content is in this. And now, probably another game with with a pretty decent amount of content is this, as I believe out of all the games, this got the most DLC because this got Oblivion got 2 main DLC and horse armor. Because you want armor for your horse? Bethesda was just like, yes. Hell yes. And Fallout 3 is another content-filled one. With Morrowind, I believe, having some DLC, just not a whole lot. But what other good aspects of the game is there? The DLC. There are 3 DLC in this game, Hearthfire, Dawnguard, and Dragonborn as the main 3 DLC, which I will be getting into the DLC separately in a later video, possibly next year, because next 2 retrospective videos, I'm going to be doing Morrowind and Fallout New Vegas, because those are the only games that I have in separate cases, and, you know, I can actually show the case and everything. But, with the DLC, Hearthfire is where you kind of build houses. You can go around the map, buy property, and then build your own house. There are a total of 3. And, yeah, not that much was added into this DLC, aside from the fact that you can adopt children now. Who would have known you can adopt children in Skyrim? Then there is Dawnguard, which is the DLC where you get to fight vampires. Probably one of the better ones of the 3 due to how good the storyline is. Sorry, I dropped my phone accidentally. And with with Dawnguard, you get to fight vampires, right? You also have the option to become a vampire. Oh yeah, and due to the Dawnguard DLC, you also get to become a werewolf, believe it or not. And like I said, it's probably one of the best DLC out of the 3. It's right there with Dragonborn, and if I have to rank it, it's probably number 2. Because Dragonborn is a little bit better, and I'm going to get into why. Dragonborn is the DLC where you basically go from being the worst Dragonborn of all time to the last. In fact, you are the last Dragonborn. If you get that reference, kudos to you. But basically you travel to this place called Solstheim, and you get to defeat this guy named Murak. And over the course of time, you make friends, you make some enemies. It all works out in the end, if you have beaten the DLC. And depending on which DLC you have chosen, depends on the content you get. So like I said, with Dawnstar, or with Dawnguard, you get to become a vampire, you get to fight vampires, and you also get to become a werewolf. With Dragonborn, you get to find these things called the Black Books, quote unquote, and that allows you to get like special perks to where if there's this one perk where if you read skill books, instead of it going up 1 point, it goes up 2. Not as important of a black book, but it is still a pretty good thing. And of course, in Hearthfire, you get to build houses, you get to own homes, all that sort of thing. So, aside from the DLC, aside from the soundtrack, and aside from everything else that I've said about the game, what are my initial thoughts? I've been saying what I've just been spitting out facts about Skyrim and how much content is in the game. But my initial thoughts on the game is that it's probably the best Elder Scrolls game to date. Unfortunately, it is the last mainline Elder Scrolls game, unless you count Elder Scrolls Online to be a mainline game, which, if you do, good for you. But, in my opinion, this is one of the better games that Bethesda has made, and it probably was the last really, really good one. Because depending on when this game came out, Fallout New Vegas, I think this came out in 2012. So this is the second best game that Bethesda has ever released, because I kind of like New Vegas. New Vegas is one of my all-time favorite games, and once I get my new computer, I'm going to be doing playthroughs of probably all of these games that I have here. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Morrowind, Oblivion, all that crap. And with a game like Oblivion and Morrowind on PC, there's this thing called a construction set. So I'm going to be making a whole lot of videos on how to make your own content for each one of those games, and it's going to be fun. I bought the PC versions of these games through GOG, and I still have them somewhere. And until that time comes, I'm just going to give you my initial score, the official retrospective seal of approval. This is one of the many only games that gets a 10 out of 10. There are very few flaws within this game that it's one of the many perfect games. It literally got the Game of the Year award in 2011. Yeah, see? On the back, it literally says that it won over 200 awards that year, because this was one of the most anticipated games of that year. And the game the game recently passed its 12-year anniversary since its release. I was only 5 at the time, which is crazy. But this is just one of my all-time favorite games, and if you like the Elder Scrolls series, I highly recommend you play Skyrim. The other games you can try out too, but Skyrim, I highly recommend you play first, because it'll probably be the easiest game to really get into, because it's pretty straightforward. With Oblivion and Morrowind, it's just all over the place. But that is all I have for this video. Next week, I will be dropping the last 2 episodes of Retrospective, and then I will be doing a compilation video of all 10 episodes of the very first season. That's going to take a bit for me to actually be able to put out, but trust me, it is coming. I have most of the video edited by now, and that will, I believe, come out within the last few days of December, because I'm planning on taking a short little break from YouTube just to focus on, personal things, family, work, school, that sort of thing. And yeah, so that's my initial plan to kind of even out the rest of the year. Anyway, if you liked the video, subscribe, comment down below what your favorite Elder Scrolls game is. And until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.